That was in Texas's 3rd congressional district. You don't get much more ruby red than Texas's 3rd. The MAGA Republican Congress member getting booed right there for his and Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all the other MAGA Republicans' actions is Congress member Keith Self. It's basically like a plus 30 Trump Republican district in Texas's 3rd. Let me just show you another angle so you have a full kind of scale of the crowd that assembled at Keith Self's town hall as he was mercilessly booed, but as other MAGA Republicans across the country were mercilessly booed. Here, play this clip. Now, I'll do a whole other video on all of these other MAGA Republican Congress members getting booed at the recent town halls they held. But let's go up north, shall we, to Toronto, where the WWE held an event. And during the singing of the national anthem, guess what you heard? More boos. Here, play this clip. And folks, Canada is pissed. I mean, Donald Trump continues to threaten annexation. Donald Trump said that on Monday he will reinstate or put in place, who even knows with him, the tariffs that he threatened 30 days ago to try to inflict financial devastation like our closest ally, a country that is like literally our top trading partner. So of course the people are going to boo. And in Canada, they are currently boycotting pretty much all things American, boycotting American tourism. We stand in solidarity with you, Canada. The Midas Touch podcast is the #1 podcast in all of Canada. So while that booing is taking place, what is the United States under the Trump regime, which has joined the axis of evil with Russia, North Korea, Belarus, and Hungary? What are they doing? The White House is posting images like this photo of J.D. Vance sitting on his girlfriend a couch. And the White House account says, the White House account goes, have you said thank you once? And they're bragging that J.D. Vance was attacking President Zelensky of Ukraine in the Oval Office meeting. And he said, have you ever said thank you? Say thank you to me right now. And it's like, President Zelensky said thank you repeatedly to the people of the United States of America. Even though he shouldn't say thank you to Donald Trump and Vance, he said thank you repeatedly. All President Zelensky said that he was not willing to say is that Putin is a good guy, because Putin is killing Ukrainians en masse and unlawfully invaded Ukraine. So while Trump and Republicans are getting booed, what's Donald Trump doing? It's weekend at Bernie's. It's a vacation time for Donald Trump. As the Patriot Takes account goes, Trump is working hard to lower grocery prices by golfing and reposting Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, this is what homeschooling looks like in Georgia's 14th. Gulf of America, America, yeah. And it's a map where I guess somebody put America over Gulf of Mexico. Right-wing propaganda right now in America, state regime-run media, they're trying to desperately cover up for Donald Trump because they know the American people are pissed. They thought the American people were stupid. They figured they elected Donald Trump, so maybe American people wouldn't realize that the Trump GOP budget gets rid of Medicaid, basically. $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid, close to $400 billion in cuts to education, close to $300 billion in cuts to farmers, over $10 billion in cuts to infrastructure. But the billionaires get $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. And so here's Fox trying really hard with its propaganda, saying, look, Trump needs a Nobel Peace Prize. What he did in the Oval Office merits Nobel Peace Prize. They're so pathetic. Here, watch this for yourself.
Luxembourg doesn't have the weapons to give them.
I think we got to get back to the central point. I think the most important point that Donald Trump made in this whole thing, he said, you are gambling with World War III.
Yep.
This was about peace, ultimately. There's a lot of drama. We can break down everybody's feelings. But in the end, I think what's remarkable is that we have a president who's willing to do anything to bring about world peace. Man, if he doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize after this, it means nothing.
And he was giving Zelensky.
And then you have the right-wing clown, no offense to clown propagandists, because not all clowns are propagandists. These are the clown propagandists, like Benny Johnson going, President Trump at Mar-a-Lago on the phone, working. He's an absolute machine. Fire emoji. It's like these right-wing influencers who went to the White House on Friday and they were handed like a binder, and the binder said Epstein files. And so Trump's trying to cover up not turning over the Epstein files, because we know from what's already been released, Trump's name, based on what was released in 2021, Trump's name is on the flight log. Trump's name is on the call log. Trump's name is in depositions. Trump was close friends with Epstein. Said Epstein was a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Anyway, they gave the right-wing influencers, if you even want to call them that, who showed up at the White House, a binder that said transparency, the Epstein files, except it wasn't the Epstein files. And then the right-wing influencers were like, oh yeah, we got it. How horrific that you're like dancing around with a call log from 2021, which is not the files, when we're talking about someone who trafficked children. These are sick people dancing with these files. I don't know. Oh yeah, another day, another airplane is on fire in the United States of America. That happened yesterday. Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham looking miserable. The new FBI deputy director, Dan Bongino, I don't even know why he posted this yesterday, which was March 1st. He posted this yesterday. Today is March 2nd. And Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Yesterday was literally March 1st when he posted that. And he may want to look, because the last day in February, right before March 1st, that's the way it works, February then March, the Atlanta Federal Reserve predicted negative 1.5% GDP growth, when it was supposed to be under former President Biden, somewhere close to 3%. Take a look at all the papers worldwide condemning Donald Trump. In addition, Trump has lost the Daily Mail. When you lose the Daily Mail, yeah, you're a global pariah, as Anonymous writes. Trump on Friday presided over one of the greatest diplomatic disasters in modern history, a spectacle to horrify the world. But I guess that's the art of the deal. It's four-dimensional chess, everybody. I'll show you this. Federal workers at a Virginia town hall at the end of last week. Here is what they want to say. Play this clip.
The email that came out wanting us to justify our jobs with 5 things we did last week was on Saturday night. And I was literally working on Saturday night to make up for all the distractions I had the previous week, which came from the executive branch. And so I'm working, trying to catch up on things, and then I get that email on top of it. It's very hard to keep your train of thought when you're getting threatened and harassed like that.
I support the Defense Department, and the jobs that we do are so stressful, and to have this on top of it, I know that that's their goal, is to make it miserable.
And don't forget about my colleagues that are overseas, and they don't even know how they're getting home, and they're just being terminated.
I feel like what they're doing is sending out these text messages, saying, oh my God, we've got to do X because this is happening. I'm retired. I can't throw money unless I know what the money's going to be used for.
Did you hear that? They said, Musk and Trump, their goal is to make us miserable, right? So whether we're talking about the ruby red Texas 3rd, or you go into Virginia, which is purplish, people are pissed. and they should be. I mean, take a look at this headline from CNN on Friday. Markets wrap rough month driven by extreme fear. U.S. stocks seesawed Friday, but all three major indexes closed the month in the red, a sign of increasing unease in the markets. Volatility gripped markets as traders closed out a dismal February that wiped out some games. Quote, extreme fear was the sentiment driving the markets on Friday and for the fourth day in a row, according to CNN's Fear and Greed Index. And then it goes on to say the VIX, Wall Street's fear gauge, popped to its highest level this year. In the afternoon, it said while trading markets recouped losses, U.S. markets sputtered in February and slid this week. Quote, we believe there is a valid concern in the markets right now. And so while all this is going on, what is Elon Musk talking about? So Joe Rogan losing to us in the podcast ratings. And I know it's getting to him. I've heard how much it's getting to him. So he needs better ratings. So he brings on Elon Musk because he thinks that's going to get him better ratings than us. He wants to be number one podcast again. So you have Elon Musk, and Rogan like just launders the oligarchs and tries to make them cool. But I think everybody knows that Rogan is just an oligarch launderer at this point. So here you have Elon Musk with Rogan saying that Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. Let's be clear. Not only are they going after your Medicaid in the budget, I want you to hear it for yourself. They're going after your Social Security. And what do we know? One of the ways they're doing this, I think they're set to fire 6,000 to 7,000 people who work at the Social Security Administration, which is going to basically make it very difficult for you to even get your Social Security check. Then there's going to be chaos. And then I think they're going to stop paying it. I mean, I'm not trying to fear monger. Just listen to Elon Musk, who's running the government, right? I'm coming with a receipt. This guy we know is running the government for reasons that are still unclear to us all. We know that Trump and Elon are refusing FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, saying that he's entitled to executive immunity, Presidential Records Act, and he's in the executive branch, so he won't testify. But he goes on Rogan. Here's what he says. Here, play this clip.
Well, I mean, the government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Right, explain that.
Oh, so, well, people pay into Social Security, and the money goes out of Social Security immediately. But the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're paying with you're paying like if you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue. Far. Have you ever looked at the debt clock?
Yes.
Okay. There's our present day debt, but then there's our future obligations. So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is because of the future obligations. So basically, people are living way longer than expected, and there are fewer babies being born. So you have more people who are retired and get that live for a long time and get retirement payments. So the future obligations. So however bad the financial situation is right now for the federal government, it will be much worse in the future.
So yeah, I don't think I'm fear mongering when I'm playing you the clip of ultimately what he is saying. Take a look at what the Wall Street Journal editorial board wrote about Trump's meeting with Zelensky. It is bewildering to see Mr. Trump's allies defending this debacle as somehow a show of American strength. And that's why, by the way, when J.D. Vance went to Vermont for a vacation, they were all vacation. All these guys just a vacation. He was greeted with boos. Play this clip from Fox.
For Vice President J.D. Vance and his family following yesterday's fiasco there in the Oval Office with Ukrainian President Zelensky. There's some new video now we have showing the vice president being greeted by protesters holding anti-Vance, pro-Ukraine signs as he makes his way there to Vermont for a ski resort vacation. More protesters met the Vance family outside of the resort. and the family ultimately had to move to an undisclosed location.
Here are some of the signs. Vance is a traitor. Go ski in Russia. Goodbye, free world. Traitor Trump loves Russia. Our friend Adam Kinzinger, former Congress member, posted this photo right here. The Trump-Zelensky meeting. Sometimes political cartoon sum it all up. Great work to the Chattanooga Times Free Press. Mr. Bennett posting it. Great work. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.